Scandinavian design is a bit boring.
You're running the largest design agency in Estonia for 20 plus years. Profile of a designer in 2026 has changed.
Empathy is something that is unique to a human skill. It's not that expensive to make mistakes anymore.
I'm very skeptical about that.
AI will not replace all those roles.
So, coffee?
Coffee.
Perfect. Talking about the team, and now we have to get a new colleague, and we were thinking about like how actually the profile of a designer in 2026 has changed. When you look for a designer, like 2 years ago, it was different profile, just like standard design craft. Now it's that plus whether and you use AI, how you approach it, which tools you use. Have you seen the difference when hiring new designers in that regard, that you have changed the profile, that what you're looking for, like in designer role?
Totally. I think the main difference, as you already said, is that previously you knew what the tool stack is needed for a designer. And you know what tool stack you as an agency are using. So maybe you need someone who is really good at Illustrator, or maybe someone that is really good in Figma.
Yeah.
But nowadays the tools with AI are so different and even scattered that basically you have to hire more like this attitude.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like you also mentioned that usually it was this T-shaped professional. And now I think that's like completely gone. Now it's like you just have to be somebody who is open to learning all the time, because the tools change every 2 weeks. And like, who are you actually looking for when you need a designer? Of course, you need some taste and basic understanding of those tools, but probably there'll be new tools in 3 months as well. That's
Exactly. But I think that it's a good thing for an industry, because it kind of takes away the like limitations of certain tools and gives designers like more broader approach of what their role is. It's more strategic now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more about having even a good instinct and a good taste, which was like 5 years ago, nobody talked about taste. They talked about how you need to have a very specific process, how you get to the insight, and then you can do like amazing creative work. But with the AI age, I think the process of design will change. Well, the underlying thing that you need to understand your target audience
even better
will stay the same. But there is a saying that don't explain, show or demonstrate. And now that you can prototype like really easily, you don't have to be a designer to create like prototypes that demonstrate some idea. So this will be like a lot quicker, and we can do that more. We don't have to spend a lot of time to make sure that the idea is right. It's not that expensive to make mistakes anymore.
Like in a way that you create the prototype, test it, and then if necessary, redo it.
Exactly. You fail, and you fail really fast. And maybe you learn the aspects that didn't work and understand why they didn't work, and then go back, and it doesn't take too much time.
When we interviewed some of the potential designers, and then you see like somebody comes in, shows his or her portfolio, and it's like really solid portfolio, and it would look perfectly fine like 2 years ago. It's like, okay, let's work together. But now you're thinking like, okay, it's not enough in this age anymore, because you need this part that you mentioned, that are you willing to learn new stuff, try new stuff, go deeper to be like, give better value for the client instead of just like standard designer stack.
Yeah, I think, well, I have noticed that some of our clients do use AI themselves quite a lot.
Yeah.
And they actually, like parallel to the designer, do the same things. They even create their own like prototypes.
Along the way
and say that, okay, I found this. And for like at first it was a bit of a shock for our designers. Like, why are you doing my work? And that makes a designer doubt that is their skill valuable? Is it like special? but actually it creates a language with a client that we can share.
And it's closer to the same level.
It is, exactly. So it is more like collaborative work with a client, which is actually good. We're thinking that maybe the client doesn't want to pay us because there is something that they can do as well. But actually the clients want to have this discussion, want to work together. And like the last maybe 20% of the work will still be polishing and kind of creating the very the best result that the client needs, that they can't do themselves.
But how have you seen this, which you're describing, change the relationship with like creative studios and clients, and where does the value is shifting in terms of like what are the clients willing to pay for, what do they want to do themselves, what do they want to professionals to do from design perspective, and like how have you seen that change already?
Very good question, and the honest answer is that I don't know what the future actual roles would be, how it will like turn out. But as I said, like being able to use the same tools is a really good thing for the shared language like thing. And maybe what the agency can do better is to kind of put together the different experiments and like deliverables or artifacts so that it makes sense in a system, and it kind of validates that the client will have like value from the like the final result.
Okay, but like really practically, have you already used like a single tool when you connect your like, I don't know, like use Claude from your team and connect client, or you use like everybody using their own systems and then you just show the results, or is like actually already possible to like use in a collaborative some kind of AI space?
At the moment, everybody is using and experimenting with their own tools, but we already have some cases where we create a brand or an identity for a client, and they ask, could you create the Claude skill from it so that they can do their brand carriers themselves or like company presentations, but it will always look how the brand manual.
Mm-hmm. And has this worked out? Because I've tried it multiple times and I'm still not there where I want to be. Because the skill from what I've tried is like it can of course define typefaces, colors, maybe spacing, but those are like very super basic. Like all those design MD files, I think they're too simplistic at the moment. And I've tried to replicate the designs like, okay, let's do slide by slide and just correct until I get somewhere, but it's still like 60-80% there. But it's because it's especially Claude, it's not generating images. Then maybe if you like add some third party like image generating.
So actually what we are trying to do is connect different tools to it. Mm-hmm. So for instance, when you have a identity system defined in Figma, then you can connect it
the library,
to Claude, and then it can like generate the PowerPoint files. But you have to kind of do quite a lot of examples so that it
for the
wouldn't
client.
derail. For the whole system, you have to. It's not like you give it the usual, old school PDF file of this is the brand book. Mm-hmm. Then the outcome is bullshit.
Yeah.
But when you kind of design the identity system to be usable for an AI, then it kind of works. But it's still experiments.
But it means that the deliverable part from the design team has to be different than it was before.
Yes.
So can you describe like the difference? Like what's
more details, more examples, and when we are talking about Claude, ChatGPT, they are language models. So basically you have to write text about how to use the system as well.
Describe every detail.
And it's not like in brand manuals, you have this text part, which is like how we sound or what is our tone of voice. AI like understands it, but for this identity system, you have to describe it in a different level, like how to use certain components or like visual elements.
And that's actually then the role of the designer is to be able to understand that, create that, and then hand off to the clients. And that changes, like as a designer, you have to be able to do that and learn that. So it's a completely new skill stack for designers.
It is. I think what digital designers have already done for 5 years is creating the design systems so that the developers actually can use it really well, and it creates consistency around products. It's really close to what we are doing right now with brands and the brand skills.
That brand designers need to learn from
digital designers, probably, yeah.
Are there any other AI tools that you use like internally that you've seen that really work?
Like every role in an agency uses a bit different tools. So at one point there was Midjourney, like the main imagery. Now it's more Nano Banana. Probably next month it will be something new, but and of course the like producers and project managers use their automation stuff, and creative directors or design leads who like create strategies, they work with text a lot. So they do that
just
kind of
conversational
stuff. Yeah.
But like as like this podcast is about branding, design, and also business. Like one of the questions I wanted to ask is how your business has incorporated the AI part, not just like as a design tool, but maybe systems and workflows that's helped you like run the business better.
Mm-hmm. We are also experimenting with automating quite a lot of things. So for instance, one thing that we do, we have 50% of our client portfolio is public sector. So you have a lot of public sector tenders.
Okay.
And this requires a lot of documentation, a lot of bureaucracy. So when you take part in a tender, at least in Estonia, you download like 15 document files that you have to read through and understand what are the requirements for qualification, for participating in the tender. So it used to take a day to go through all the documents. Now it takes like 10 minutes because you feed the documents into an AI and it kind of describes or answers your questions, what you need to have. This is just like one example. But of course, in sales, doing offers as well, this is where AI tools help to speed up things as well.
Like how?
Like just understanding maybe the context as well. Usually we don't get like a really simple brief about a project, but there are additional maybe strategy documents. We can do like competitors research with AI tools to understand the field in Estonia, in the Baltics, in the whole world. So it kind of helps to understand the problem, maybe reframe it, and then propose like a way to approach that project, which we always put in like a sales offer when we...
Okay, even before you have the contract?
Yes.
Okay, so you're willing to do some extra work before you handshake?
Of course, it depends on the client as well. If it's something that we really want, then we are willing to put some invest in it, let's say it that way.
So one of the topics I wanted to talk about is the sales of design business, because in many interviews when you talk about design studios, the conversation is always about creativity, like team, work, crafts, but very rarely about the business of design. And you're running the largest design agency in Estonia. You've been around for 20 plus years. You've celebrated 20 years 2 years ago, is that correct?
So we are 22 now.
Yeah, so you had a lot of experience that smaller design studios can learn from, and what I like about you is that it's not advertising agency, but specifically design, which is a different field than advertising and web development and stuff like that. And just to share ideas how you approach the business part of design industry. You said you work like 50% with government organizations, and like, how do you look at sales of design? Do you have a sales department? Do you do cold outreach, or how do you approach that from like operations perspective and as a leader of the company?
During the 20 plus years, the sales have evolved and have been in like different levels. At first, it's doing projects for your friends and family and fools, as they say. And we have had the luxury of having like really good people, skilled persons in the team, amongst the founders as well, who have just communicated a lot with people. Sales is about like meeting people and doing deals. But when we grew quite a lot, maybe about 10 years ago, then we actually saw that there is a specific sales role needed. And just before COVID, actually, we did a sprint of getting us more international, so getting like export clients. And then we hired an export sales manager to the team. And he worked for many years to not only getting like export clients, but also like local clients. So it is about like quite traditional sales techniques, which we don't do like cold contacts, but we kind of monitor what is happening in the with different companies and in different fields where there might be a good like chance of them needing our services.
For like, can you expand on that? Like, what are the triggers you're looking for?
Okay, for example, at the moment, I think it's the same with you and all, at least Eastern Europe, the defense industry is booming.
Growing, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So they have a very specific kind of branding, I would not say a problem, but a challenge. Most of their work for a defense is quite like a big secret, and they can't talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
But they always have this civilian products as well. So we call it dual use.
Okay.
So for some part of their business, they have to have a good brand. They have to be visible. They have to have their own identity and voice and everything. And a part of it is like hidden. So really interesting like branding challenge. And we have contacted a few of them to understand how it actually works for them, what they think about it. We have written some articles about this defense and dual use branding challenges. So we really take our time to get to know the industry. And then when they need our services, we already kind of know where they come from and what works for them. And then.
But how does if you're okay sharing, like how does the sales work? You do all this work, and then your salespeople reach out, or like go in like
even write articles, attend some
prospects,
attend maybe conferences or meetups where are about this specific topic or fields, and just make ourselves visible.
Like that would be like content marketing, right? So you do
a bit of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's in Estonia. Everybody knows everybody. So probably we have like a mutual connection or a friend that can intro us. So it's not like totally cold connection, but maybe a totally new like business opportunity.
And then do you do like reaching out from your side? Does the salesperson reaches out, creates proposals, or you ask for the incoming, you just wait for the incoming traffic and that's it?
We reach out ourselves as well.
So just writing emails and pitching your services?
As I said, usually it is somebody who knows somebody. So we reach out a mutual connection and ask for an intro, like put us together. I think I have a few like good ideas how to help the company, and that works.
But you do that industry by industry, or it's like specific, you target specific companies, or is it like a system there, or just like a salespeople just observe
we look at industries, because as I said, it takes some time and effort to understand the industry.
And prepare the much.
And then we have a list of companies that we would like to work with within that industry, and then the rest is operational.
Okay. And what's your experience with exporting design from Estonia across the borders?
As I said, we tried to do it in 2018. Then COVID came, and it kind of cut away all the travel opportunities. So at that point, it was kind of, oh no, what we are going to do right now? And we said that, okay, let's do what we know best and attend to our Estonian clients. But now we are already picking up like new export ideas again, and there is a kind of a joint action group with the Estonian Marketers Association, where we are trying to define what the uniqueness of Estonian design or creative industry, creative services are, and then as a joint force go outside to export markets and try to make ourselves visible.
Do you have specific markets and countries that you're targeting?
We haven't defined them in very specific countries, but we know that we can work with countries where English is spoken. So it doesn't have to be the mother language, but for example, like Sweden and Denmark and Norway, everybody speaks like fluent English, and that works for us.
Because in my mind, what I've thought about is that, of course, all the Baltics naturally, when exporting, think of the Nordic countries. But in regards to design, they already have a very high bar, and they don't lack good design. Where, for example, if we look to some other regions in Europe, where it's like maybe they're not so prosperous, but like the need for good design that Baltics can offer is higher. So I was thinking your perspective on this. Are you trying to reach out to the Nordic part, where it's like English and they're more prosperous and they value good design, but it's like the competition is much harder, and they usually look at Baltics as like the cheapest option, not as equivalent.
Yes.
Or you're like trying to intentionally target like other countries where the design is still like maturing.
We do it both ways. The Nordics are the most like obvious, because there we still have a bit of like a price advantage, exactly. But at the moment, for me, quite attractive countries are those who are like emerging at the moment. Like there is Moldova, or there is Ukraine, which are really interesting, and where I think that all of the Baltic designers or creatives could create a lot of value and add to their like local expertise quite a lot.
But you yourself, from what I understand, you studied technology in Taltech and then also business. And how did you end up leading the largest design agency in Estonia?
Basically by chance. Yes, I studied to be a software developer.
Okay.
And then like a business, like IT manager, basically.
So you have the perfect triangle of technology, business, and design.
Now I do, yes. So I went to work with Velvet. I didn't found the company. Yeah. So it was a 2-year-old company, and I went to work there as a developer.
Okay.
But somehow I got really good at like communicating the technological details to clients.
Okay.
So they thought that, okay, you should be more of like a project manager, more like client-faced. And after that, it kind of evolved to leading a team. And then I got really interested in like service design, because previously all like design understanding for me was that you have to be visually, aesthetically very like high level to be like a very good designer. And when it turned to more about insights, design research, and like service design, which sometimes it is not very tangible and sometimes it's not visual, then I found kind of my design discipline. And as you said, connecting all those parts gives like quite a good round understanding about the clients, about design in general, about technology, about empathy.
Okay, we'll talk about empathy in a minute, but when you said you're working with service design, and design is actually a service in itself. So maybe you can share how have you designed the service of Velvet along these years that maybe other design studios can learn from, because it's usually always the same. It's like designers love to design, they hate to sell, sometimes some love to do like technical development, some hate it, some like to do print, and they're just mostly focused about their craft and very rarely think about how to design the service that they're providing for the client. It's actually like you actually said that in your website as well. It's like the same as plumbing or doing woodwork. It's like design is actually a craft that you provide to the client.
Yeah.
And
we say that design is a job.
Yes.
And you should get paid for it. So it's that.
And it's
simple.
a service, and like you can design. There are good plumbers and there are terrible plumbers, not as a professionals, but how they provide their service. Like you also mentioned, people skills. Also, that's a crucial. And maybe so you can just walk us through like how are you thinking about good service design for design business?
So it all comes down to the subject of who you are providing the service to. If you understand them, and you have to make an effort to understand them, then you can build a very good, high quality service around it. So it usually means going out there, doing research. So basically doing interviews with your clients or your like possible future clients about how their needs are changing, because they are changing all the time. And at the moment, as we are entering the AI age, we are doing like a recycle of this already. So interviewing our clients about what they expect a good design agency or a creative agency to provide them, how the service is best for them, how it matches their needs. It's a lot of effort, and it doesn't give you all the results, because especially I think at the moment, the clients don't know themselves. They are a bit confused as well, what the future will look like. But then you have to make an educated guess, and you probably have an instinct. And also, I think there is a very important part of service design is not only providing the service that the target audience wants, but also providing the service that you feel passionate about. Like, what do you want to do as a service provider? What excites you? What motivates you? What inspires you?
What would that mean for like a design agency? Like, what would be that component in your work?
Like, if you don't care about, I don't know, digital performance marketing, don't provide it as a service. Because you are not in it with all your heart. And yes, you could hire someone to do it because your clients need it. But if you are not like convinced that this is a discipline that you want to develop and understand then it's probably you're not going to be the best in it.
Your company celebrated 20 years recently. And you've been there for quite a long time. And in one of your interviews, you said that Velvet is approaching a transformation into a new era. And I was wondering, can you expand on the change that you're seeing in your company, and like considering everything we talked about, AI and how that changes both the design service and also the clients, for many clients as well. What do you see the transformation that you want to bring into the organization that you're leading, and how do you see it going forward?
To be honest, maybe the interview that you read was a few years ago. The whole industry is in like a transformation stage because of the AI tools that we discussed previously as well. And I guess that everybody at the moment is trying to figure out and understand what the future will be. And so do we. But we are really like nurturing ability to be excited about it. Because as I said, many designers were quite stressed when the new tools came out, because what is their role in the future is quite vague and frightening even. But I truly believe that this will probably democratize the whole industry and maybe demystify some of the tools and the processes that designers do. And I think that it's a good thing. Business-wise, I think we are in a new kind of era of trying to get outside of Estonia again and be more international. I would love to have more projects with Latvian and Lithuanian clients, and maybe collaborations with Baltic agencies. So that's something that excites me quite a lot as well. I have tried to make friends with a lot of agencies in Latvia and Lithuania. So yeah, I already have quite good contacts now.
I think that you've succeeded with that, because I got your recommendation from Algirdas from Lithuania. So I think he's like trying to do the same in Lithuania, just connecting the Baltic industry. We met several times and invited him for the podcast as well. And when I asked him about Estonia, because he usually stops here on his way to Tallinn, and then like, who are you meeting there? And then he mentioned you. So, but do you when you're going across borders with design, do you feel that there's something unique that Estonia and the Baltics can offer?
I do. I think that all the Baltic states are quite high quality standard globally, but we are not very sure about it ourselves. So we lack this confidence a bit. But I think that we are actually, we have all the necessary skills to make it at the very top. We have a few differences as well. Like the last 5 years, I have actually looked a lot what design agencies in Latvia and Lithuania are doing. And then I have kind of understood a pattern or some differences.
Can you share what your insights,
I think let's start with Lithuania. They are enjoying quite a good ride at the moment. Their economy has been doing great. They have some startups that are doing great. So their design at the moment feels most optimistic and maybe most global style. And they can compete on a global level quite well, I think. Latvia is really good at craft and some amazing work. I was in the jury, and there was one project, I think it was your folk festival Baltica, and it is it combines your cultural heritage, but in a very modern way. It was amazing work, and I have seen a lot of other similar things, very good illustrators, very good graphical designers from Latvia. And us Estonians, maybe we are the most pragmatical about design. So we like creating like systems, and I kind of feel that we are the most knowledgeable about like the business impacts of design as well, and we try to measure it and understand it. So these are the subtle differences, but all of the Baltic states very creative, amazing projects, and probably when we would have the resources that I don't know, some US agencies have with their big clients, then the work would be on the same level. And basically the uniqueness is that our region between Nordics and the more expressive, like Southern culture is a very good like mix. I think that the very traditional Scandinavian design is a bit boring, or like it used to be like the kind of level that you want to reach. But for many brands, they are looking for more like exotic expression, and we kind of combine this, being in the middle, being very diverse and culturally mixed, like historically. So this could probably be our advantage.
Okay, let's talk about the metrics and the pragmatic side that you mentioned. Two things. First is like, what can we learn from what you said, like your Estonians are good at the pragmatic side of understanding the business of your clients and how that applies to your practice. And then the second part is actually measuring the impact of design, which is, I think, very, very hard to do. And there have, of course, been some attempts to do that, but I've yet to see something that's like as easily measurable as like what you can see in, for example, in e-commerce on like paid media. It's like instantly you see the conversion rate, and it's very hard to do with branding, which is a long-term play with much more variables included. So what can we learn from your experience in that regard?
I think with each project you can figure out some things that you can measure, like at the moment and like after. So you have to design the metrics into the project from the beginning, because then you can measure the benchmark point like in the beginning, and then what happened after.
Can you give me an examples
like the easiest example would be about maybe if you have a website, and then you kind of measure how well a website visitor can do a task on the website, and when you redesign it, make it easier for them, is it actually easier? Do they get the better result or not? It's more tricky with branding projects, of course, but there I have found that it is easier to measure how easy it is to apply a brand. So it's more like an internal measurement for the client's team. So if you give them a toolbox of the new brand, how easy it is to apply it, how much is it used, because probably, hopefully, all design agencies create a brand for the client to use, not for themselves to continuously do the follow-up project.
I think that's actually a tricky part, because I've seen so many nice designs out there, and when you look at the actual clients, then the situation is not that bright, because designers love to do nice stuff, and it's many times it just stays on their presentations. And when the client actually gets the materials, they're not equipped enough, they don't know how to use it. There are many objections why it's different and hard to implement it as it was intended. So I think it's actually not that common to have the initial idea implemented the right way. From our experience, we've many times like scaled down the design language so that it's easier to implement in the real life situations. And if we ourselves would do it, we would do it like many times more complicated way that would probably win some awards. But when you have, as you mentioned in your website, empathy towards the client and their actual, like, consider the team that will actually work with the design, you understand that you have to scale it down like sometimes significantly.
Or provide tools that help them to do the like more tricky parts or the more expressive or interesting parts as well. I think now it is, again with AI tools, more and more like feasible to do stuff like that. But talking about the measurement of brands, of course you can't do it with very small ones, but there is like global or even regional measurements or reports as well, like the Baltic Brand Forum every year or every 2 years publishes the most loved like brands in the Baltics, for example. So this is a measurement that you can use when a company wants to like move up in that ladder.
I'm very skeptical about that, to be honest, in regards to design and branding, because I think it's like to measure a brand, it's like so many components that's not design related that changes the answer whether you love the brand or not, and it's not always tied to design. And then it's still something that I haven't cracked, like how to measure the impact directly. It's like, yes, because you can kind of, there are some, of course, many attempts to do that, but if you strawman the numbers, you can easily like look at and interpret it in different other ways as well.
I think for me, one like interesting measurement would be, of course, it takes years and years to achieve, but you can like build a brand that is so solid in their principles and values that everything that happens with the company doesn't affect like the base brand value, and the clients still like stick with them, perceive their like the sense of security that the brand gives them. And we recently had in Estonia one case where our local bank, LHV, it's not one of the Swedish ones, but our local one, they have a really good image in Estonia. And one of their board members in an interview said that in his understanding, every year the lowest performing 10% of employees should be sacked, basically. Yeah. And that caused a huge backslash in media, in social media and everywhere. I'm not here to comment if I agree with this perspective or not, but I was thinking that if they had a very solid like brand base, then this would have no cause on their client loyalty or anything else, because like one event doesn't change that.
Yeah.
And this probably would be the best measurement for like a brand value.
Interesting. I actually know where that perspective comes from. There's actually, I think it was EAG or some like other huge American company that had this principle for many years. They had they fired the lowest performing, and they like doubled the top few percent in like salary and benefits, and for them, I think that's a proven case study. It actually works. It's not like maybe socially popular, but I can see where it comes from when you're running a huge organization. Of course, it's different. And okay, back to Velvet, and you have a very strong positioning regarding empathy, and I think it's interesting now with the AI. How you've seen that changes and what decisions you're making in regards to being true to the positioning, and also understanding that AI will replace many jobs that I don't know, how to be empathetic towards Illustrator, who you maybe don't need for certain projects anymore, or you don't need a copywriter for certain projects. Like designer can craft a copy like herself, or like there are different like tasks that are changing, and how does empathy come into play into that?
Okay, there are like many topics about that actually. I think that first I would like to comment that I think that AI will not replace all those roles, because if we take copywriting, AI can do a mediocre job, and if you need like some I don't know, like very simple copy really fast, then it's a shortcut. But if you need to actually get to the emotional level for a target audience, then it still has to be a person who understands the target audience, the time where it is said. So I think, and even illustrators, they can just do their work better now. Some parts faster, some inspiration can be gathered more quickly and so on. But about empathy and AI, I think that still empathy is something that is unique to a human skill, and you can't replace that.
Well, what can you define like empathy? Like, how do you see that? What does that mean in business context?
In business context, it actually means that you are more precise about your messages and your outcomes. Empathy is quite often misunderstood as like a soft thing, like you are really empathetic, you are a really nice person. But if you think about it, empathy is about understanding the other person or persons. And understanding means that you have to listen. And that is the main skill, listen and then understand. That makes you like perceived as a better person. But actually you can be more accurate about what you tell to that person, or how you help that person.
Because you listen.
Because you listen, and then you understand. So this is still a very human skill, and as I said, it gives you precision to the decisions that you are making and how you are helping your clients and the company. Because without this understanding and empathy, like strategy is just theater.
How do you make sure that those insights are then implemented into the company culture? Because you have a quite large design agency. It's not like usually 3 or 5 people. You have, 20 plus people, and you've been even larger. And it's quite a challenge to make sure that like from one person to the other, the values remain when they face the client. And also, when people leave, that they talk warmly about the time they've spent involved. Like, how do you make sure that it actually works? So it's not just like you as a leader telling that in interviews, but that it's actually like embedded into the culture of your company.
I think it begins with actually living the culture yourself on a very everyday basis.
So what would that mean? Like you like regular Wednesday?
Well, no. If we talk about empathy, then we have to be empathetic towards our colleagues as well. So listening our colleagues as well. If they have a problem that needs to be solved, it's quite often that many persons from the team take the time to understand it, and we talk it through. You have been to our website. We have these principles. Yes. That we speak up and we help each other. So it is like the communication is a discipline of repetition. So you repeat the same things like every day, not only verbally, but by action as well. So that probably creates the company culture.
And you have some like specific onboarding flow when a new team member joins the company, or?
Yeah, we have. But I think that the everyday life actually makes it really tangible, because you can write anything in the onboarding manual or do some tricks, but the effect like takes time to understand this. And of course, there are people who don't quite buy into it like 100%. So some of them might leave, but some of them just accept that they don't believe it in 100%, but when they are on the team and doing the job, they follow the principles that we have.
How do you balance that with ambition, that you want to perform at the highest level, where it's often not about being empathetic, but just like having a super strong vision and just like pushing through no matter what?
You mean in a client's work, or?
It's like, for example, you have somebody who has a very strong point of view about some idea or how a project should look like, and then some people might want to talk about it and express but then it's like you have people who are very driven, and then they are willing to sacrifice a lot to get there, which is not necessarily very empathetic to the people around you, and then you say we're like the first number one empathetic agency, and how do you find the balance between that? Like, for example, like comparing a professional sports team with family. It's like one is very like we care about each other, and the other one is we're just like here to perform, and if you don't perform, you're out of the team.
Okay, that's a really good question and analogy. I think that Velvet as a culture is more like a band.
A music band.
A music band. So you can have all those superstars, but they have to be able to work together. So if one guy is like a total, or a girl is a total diva, and doesn't want to work with others at all, then it doesn't work in a Velvet kind of culture. You can be very opinionated about certain kind of ideas or concepts that you want to use in a project. If you can defend it and explain it so that others are, okay, we are on board, let's try it at least, then it works. But if you go in a totally different direction and say that only my idea is the right one, then it doesn't work. It probably doesn't work for the client as well, because there is still some kind of like meeting point in the middle with the client, where you have to understand why we are doing this. You don't have to be like 100% on board with the idea, but you have to understand what purpose does it serve.
To kind of summarize the conversation, I had maybe a completely different topic, but I saw that on your website you had 2 points so that were not explained too much, but you had Velvet Academy and Velvet Kids Academy, and that seemed interesting. Like, can you share what are those like side ventures, or like do you teach design, or what's the academy and the Kids Academy?
Yeah, we try to give back to the design education as much as we can. So we have had and still have like different formats of how that works. We do internships, and we actually do those academy programs where you can apply to and then have a course of kind of design principles. And we do it for kids as well, because we have one company as a neighbor, which is called Vivita, which works with kids, gives them like handcraft skills and different other skills, and one of these is like understanding design.
But like what ages?
From 5 to 15.
And what would be the principles you teach to children regarding design?
Like for first, empathy as a tool. That is something that kids actually know quite well, because it comes as an instinct If you look at the playground, how kids make friends, they kind of they observe, they look at what others are doing, and then like gradually include themselves by asking questions, sharing toys, doing some things together. So it's really similar to what collaborative like approaches in design actually are.
And the academy, the internship, it's like a once a year course, or like how does like practically that?
The internship used to be once a year as it was called Velvet Run. So we took about 10 people who then worked together for 2 weeks on some assignments.
It was like physically in your office?
Yeah, yeah. But now at the moment for last years we have done like collaborations with Art Academy in Estonia and in Tallinn and Pallas Art School in Tartu. They are just sending some of their brightest like students to us to go through the internship program that they need to do in the school anyway. So this is one of the formats.
Okay. And to close up, what would be your wish to all the Baltic design industry when you look ahead to the next, say, 5 to 10 years? What would be your encouragement to all of designers in the Baltics, as they probably all of them looked how to go abroad and export their skills?
Mm-hmm. I think that the best advice that I can give to any young designer is to do a lot of work. Just try out different techniques and things. And I know this sounds weird, but don't only look at what design agencies are doing, but look at what other disciplines in fine arts are doing. Like go to exhibitions, go to theater, to movies, rock concerts. There is so much to learn when you expand your like view, and the best ideas don't come from looking at other top design agencies. They come from within, from your experiences, and very often the experience is about like a cultural event that kind of elevates you, and then you can use it as a material, as an input signal to create something that is truly unique and original.
Thank you. This was really nice meeting you.
Thank you for inviting me.
That's it for today, and thank you for listening. If you find these topics interesting, feel free to subscribe to Asketic Podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can also write us at hello@asketic.com, and let's build impactful brands together.